Hey guys, welcome back to the another video. Today we are going to talk about 5 to 6 books that are for the people who are like me, who are like nerd, who want to read something high quality stuff, who are more interested into physics, science, who want to test and some kind of different books. And if you are that kind of people, then make sure you watch this video and you will understand what type of books I love, what type of book I try to read, and how those things changed my life, or how I think about those books. Basically, this video is going to be for the people who are little bit into, not into the physical, not into the normal fiction books. Basically, we always talk about, the To Kill a Mockingbird, Harry Potter, Lord of Rings, then the Third Door. Basically, ये fiction और non-fiction books के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. But in that category, there are books which are little bit of high quality, which are little bit of high level books that I believe that you should definitely read, and that might help you into the future, that might help you to understand this world a better place. So, or how the world works, or why you should do what you should not do. So many things I have learned from this book. Basically बहुत सारे concepts समझ में आते हैं. So if you are into that, then make sure you watch this video fully. And before that, you make sure you join the Telegram group if you want to discuss more about book, or the newsletter where I share a lot of free stuff. First book that I want to talk about is The Order of Time. Oh my god, what a book! Like The Order of Time, as the name suggests, this book is more about the understanding the concept of the time. We usually understand that time means watch, जो time दिखाई देता है उतना ही time होता है. But there is a lot of definition about the time, lot of understanding, lot of science behind the time, which we usually don't understand, और जो हमें शायद पता भी नहीं होगा unless and until you read about this. So Order of Time, this book is all about the concept of time. Like हमें just पता है कि टाइम एक वैल्यू होती है कि कितने बजे, how much time it is now, tomorrow क्या होगा. So that's the only thing we understand about the time. But it's not that simple. The time is really big definition, and if you are a person like me जिसे physics science में interest है, and पहले से interest था, थोड़ा maths में भी interest है, and who are okay with understanding little bit of entropy term, then thermodynamics terms, how those works, then this book is definitely for you. The book is so poetic. I mean, it starts and it's just amazing to understand the book. I will highly recommend this book. So basically this book, that understanding about the time. So he talks about what is exactly the time. Do we really know exactly how the time works? Do you know there is one concept in this book which says that टाइम फ्लोज स्लोली एट द बॉटम. अगर हम जहाँ पे अभी है, विच वी आर ऑन द ग्राउंड, यहाँ पे टाइम बहुत स्लो फ्लो होता है. एंड इफ यू गो ऑन द माउंटेन, देन टाइम फ्लोज लिटिल बिट फास्ट. इट्स इन द वेरी फ्रैक्शन, बट वो टाइम फ्लोज इन द फास्टर एज वी गो अबाव, लाइक एज वी गो आउट टू द अल्टीट्यूड. वहाँ पे टाइम थोड़ा ज़्यादा फास्ट फ्लो होता है. इट्स इन द वेरी माइक्रो सेकेंड्स और द माइक्रोवेव्स, but time flows that, and he proves that with the equations, like कि क्यों ऐसा होता है. And there is a one YouTube video also available, why time flows differently at the different location. So make sure you check out that video also. If I find the video, I will put it in the description. But this book only about that, कि understanding the basics of the time, what is the concept of the time, why you should think about the time, and lot of thinking about the time. I really enjoyed this book. I have read this book 3 times and still I feel like यार अभी भी कुछ ना कुछ missing है. Still I go back and read that book again and again. It's just beautiful and it's just poetic and amazing. So if you are into the person who are into fiction plus physics plus science and who love this kind of stuff, then make sure you pick up The Order of Time. It's just amazing. The next book I want to talk about by the one author, which are the 3 books by the same author, that is Yuval Noah Harari. उसके 3 books है. First one is, we all know, the Sapiens book. Second one is Homo Deus, and third one is 21 Lessons About the 21st Century. I have read all these 3 books, and these 3 books are literally good to understand and really great to understand the future and the past. So I have already made one detailed video on all these 3 books. You can go check out that video. I'll put the link in the description. I have read all these 3 books, and 3 books are literally amazing. So we will talk a little bit about each and every book. So पहली book, that is the Sapiens. Sapiens most of the people ने पढ़ी होगी. अगर आपने पढ़ी नहीं है, then please go read that book. It's just amazing. वहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें, I mean you get to know about your past, कि हम as a human whatever we are, वो जर्नी कैसा था, आई मीन हाउ दैट वी स्टार्टेड, कहाँ से कहाँ पे आ गए, देन व्हाट हैपेंड, देन व्हाट वाज द इवोल्यूशन दैट हैपेंड, a lot of things you will understand. If you are not okay with the English, this book is available into the Hindi on the Audible also. I will put the link in the description. So basically Audible में आपको हिंदी ऑडियो बुक इसकी मिल जाती है, and try to listen to the Hindi audio book of this book. तो आप ज़्यादा कनेक्ट कर पाओगे rather than reading an English book. It's like author is talking to you, or author is saying a book to, or author is reading book for you. It's basically meaning of that when it comes to audio book. And first मैंने इसकी ऑडियो बुक ही सुनी थी, एंड उसी से मुझे बहुत सारी चीज़ें पता चली कि हाउ द इवोल्यूशन साइकोलॉजी वर्क्स, इवोल्यूशन ऑफ ह्यूमन वर्क्स, बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपको सेपियंस इस बुक में पता चलेगी. एंड इट्स अबाउट द पास्ट, अबाउट द ह्यूमंस, एंड अनलेस एंड until you know the past, you will how you are going to make the future. So make sure you read Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. It's a great book. Second book, that is Homo Deus. Homo Deus, it's a kind of the opposite of the Sapiens. It's talk about the future, like what might happen in the future, what is the future. I won't recommend really high this book as compared to the Sapiens and 21 Lessons of 21st Century. But this book is also really good and easy to understand. If you are more interested into the future, then you can definitely check out the Homo Deus book. I already made one video, you can check out that video. If you don't want to check out or read the book, just wanted a review about that book, and then you can see कि यार आपको अगर ये book पसंद आती है, then you can go and read that book. And the third book that I want to talk about is same author, is 21 Lessons of 21st Century. As the name suggests, this book is all about 21 lessons from 21st century. So 21st century में we are into the 21st century, and you should definitely read this book if you want to survive the 21st century. Well, it's not like that, but this book contains 21 different lessons about the human, robotics, science, then a lot of different topics. And this book is specifically focused on the what will be the change in the future, like how the AI will change, robotics will come, IoT will be there, Internet of Things, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, बहुत सारी चीज़ें ऐसी आने वाली है कि जो फ्यूचर चेंज करने वाली है, एंड हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू रिएक्ट टू दैट, व्हाट विल हैपन टू द ह्यूमंस के साथ क्या क्या होने वाला है. लॉट ऑफ चीज़ें आपको इस बुक में पता चलेगी, which is the 21 lessons of the 21st century. And that's the reason I love this book, because I won't say these are the match to the order of time, but these books were really good to understand the basics of human, to understand the basic culture of how the human works, how the human works. So उसके लिए आपको ये बुक जरूर पढ़नी चाहिए. So these are the 3 books that I will highly suggest if you want to understand, or if you are a person who like me, who are into the nerd category. The next fiction books, or I will say the philosophical books that I like, is The Courage to be Disliked. Well, this is not a normal book. First I read this book, I literally hated this book because it's more about the conversation rather than the book. So it's basically, this book start होती है whether there is one philosopher and there is one student. तो student basically philosopher से question पूछता है कि यार what is the life, what is the difference in the life, what we should do, why we take the decision, why someone is not happy. So basically student सारे question एक philosopher से पूछता है, and philosopher try to answer every question in detail with the example, with real life example. And philosopher के उसके अपने अपनी philosophies होती है. He try to explain two different types of philosophies in that book कि भाई this is also philosophy, this is also philosophy. You have to change what is the philosophy, then why some people go for the monk, and why people who are into the surviving, or who are into the life, or the kind of the environment, and what were their philosophies. So basically philosophy के बारे में book है. I really enjoyed this book after the after when I reached around 40 to 50% of the book, then I started enjoying this book. Till that it was like यार मैं enjoy कर पाऊंगा कि नहीं, because it's more about the conversation, and I literally hate, I won't say hate, but I'm less likely to focus on the conversation rather than a story. But if you are into the philosophies, like Stoicism philosophy is there, which is one of my favorite philosophy. Like there are 3 to 4 books by the Ryan Holiday. You should definitely check out those books. Then there is a good like The Way to Good Life. There is also a book which talk a lot about the philosophy. So these are the books that I talk about the philosophy. But The Courage to be Disliked is a kind of better than average book, which I say that because I really like that book at the end of it. So you should definitely go and check out The Courage to be Disliked. Next book that I want to talk about is Life 3.0. Another great book by the author Tegmark. Tegmark is a really good author, and his biography is really good. You should definitely follow this author, the Tegmark, which he talks about the Life 3.0. So Life 3.0 is basically concept about what if the robotics and the AI or the IoT surpass the human, जो ह्यूमन नॉलेज है अगर उसने खुद से काम करना शुरू कर दिया, then what will happen? बुक की शुरुआत ही वैसे होती है, like there is a concept called, the बुक की शुरुआत होती है कि like there is a AI and IoT which is surpassed the human and they are become dominant to the human, then what will happen to the world? So basically इस बुक की शुरुआत ऐसी होती है and then Tegmarks try to explain the difference about life 1.0, life 2.0 and life 3.0. ये तीन डिफरेंट क्या क्या चीज़ें हैं वो ही ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन दैट. लाइफ 1.0 इज बेसिकली अबाउट द ह्यूमन बायोलॉजी, ह्यूमन बायोलॉजिकल स्टफ जो है. लाइफ 2.0 इज मोर अबाउट द कल्चरल टेक्नोलॉजीज दैट वी हैव अपग्रेडेड, एनवायरमेंट एंड एवरीथिंग. एंड लाइफ 3.0 इज मोर अबाउट द स्पेसिफिकली टेक्नोलॉजीज जैसे IoT है. Those about this he try to explain different kind of life in the environment. And when he finished explaining life 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0, this book is majorly focused on the understanding about life 3.0, which probably we are into the currently, which are because we see a lot of AI, IoT, and that is the kind of stuff. So make sure you check out Life 3.0 by Max Tegmark. The book that I want to talk about, or the last two books I will say, one is Super Intelligence, another 2014 Swedish साइंटिस्ट निक जिसने ये बुक लिखी थी, विच इज़ अगेन सेम एज लाइफ 3.0, कि जहाँ पे ही ट्राई टू एक्सप्लेन अनदर AI, मशीन लर्निंग, दे हैव सरपास्ड द ह्यूमन, देन व्हाट विल हैपन. So make sure you go check out this kind of books जहाँ पे what will happen if the AI becomes dominant in the industry. So these are the few books that are really like. There is a last book that I want to talk about is You Are Not So Smart. Another great book which I really enjoyed. It's not everyone's cup of tea, which talk about a lot of biases, lot of cognition biases and a lot of things. जहाँ पे he try to explain कि you are not so smart. When you read this book, you are literally feel like you are not so smart, but it's really hard to digest a book. It's not like यार एक ही टाइम में फिनिश कर सकते. It takes a lot of time to understand कि बुक में चल क्या रहा है and what is happening in the book. So make sure you read You Are Not So Smart. So these are the few books for the people who are like me, who are into the nerd and who love little bit of high quality stuff, who are into the physics, साइंस एंड जिनको ये सारी चीज़ें पसंद है, AI वगैरह, देन मेक श्योर यू रीड दिस काइंड ऑफ बुक जहाँ पे आपको मोर नॉलेज मिल जाएगा. यू विल बिकम मोर अवेयर अबाउट द वर्ल्ड and that you will find interesting. That's everything about it. But if you are into the person who want to read basic books, then check out this video. I have shared a lot of books that you should read in 2022, which are literally amazing books. And if you are into the audiobooks, check out this video where I shared the audiobooks that you should try. So that's all for today's video. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Tata. Take care.